Good day, good morning. What up, investors? What up, traders? This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and we're going to be looking at what is my game plan for Tesla. I currently, if you don't already know, I was the guy who bought around 200, kind of held it through a quarter, and then sold off basically around the 350, and then again at the 400 limit, and then missing out of all of this upside. It was it was I'm able to sleep at night now, but my plan is I truly believe in this company, and I want to get into this company for 5-10 years because I think it's the future. And this is a true investment for me, not a trade, and I want to look at getting back in at a price point. And what price point would that be? You kind of see here I've got two lines here for just alerts on basically if it hits a new all-time high and at the 688 level. If it breaks below this, there's like a gap down. Like sometimes a lot of stocks like to come back down and fill the gap. I think if it actually, I'm going to put it right about here actually. I'll put it right in the middle. It's around 660. So if it can come down to 660 or even the 600 level, it has a potential for me to add to or start my position again. Is it going to get to that level? I don't know. The market overall was down yesterday, as you can see here. This is the S&P 500 future, basically opening down, dropping quite substantially, and then closing out well below its high, basically erasing like 2 weeks of stuff and touching back down where we were trading about 2 weeks ago, but then we had like a crazy V-shaped bottom and just took off back again. Again, this is due a lot to the coronavirus and the scare of economic slowdown. So the only thing that is slightly different here is on this time, you can see I'm highlighting this area here. The purple line never actually crossed through the yellow. The purple crossed through the yellow here. So this down move is substantially more powerful. You can see there was a lot more volume behind it, and the moving averages just nosedive down instead of kind of slowly coming in for a landing. They just fell out of the sky and is just pointing south to the ground on that side. But so how does that affect my Tesla looking at? So basically you have to be knowledgeable of what else is going on in the market to be able to make an educated call on buying Tesla. Because yeah, you can buy it up here, but do you want to know how many people probably bought up here as well and then they sold off because, oh my gosh, it was down 7% yesterday, it was down $60 or whatever? Like, it's quite substantial amount of drop here, and you can see there's a lot of gap downs, gap ups, gap downs. So I think a lot of this level right here, the 660, is I'll be putting out some alerts and potential limit buys at these levels here, because you never know, this could come down for a split second and just fill this. So I might buy 2 or 3 shares at this price here to start off a position. The moving averages are kind of still going up to the sky, but the 5 and the 8 are starting to curl over. And the one other thing is none of the moving averages have crossed over yet. So if you look back through this whole chart, the only time basically the moving averages crossed over was basically last year in November, when the 5 barely crossed over the 8 and kind of came down to the yellow and just took off from there. What do I can see here? That could happen again. Like the yellow line can start leveling off a little bit at 750. This kind of coming down. Again, this is all tied to if there isn't a stronger correction in the overall market. Sometimes stocks are so powerful they don't even care what's going on with the overall market. But since Tesla's tied heavily to their new gigafactory in China, and a lot of people are being scared about the coronavirus and the economic impact on that within China's different various provinces, it's kind of key because this is going to be kind of center stage in that sense. for the better or the worse. So if it comes down to this level, you have to let it kind of simmer off a little bit. You have to let it kind of glide down, because it has just been cut down a little bit here. And you can see that here in the RSI. This is where it's saying overbought or oversold. That level has come off quite a bit where we have been the last couple months, and the overall momentum is slowly moving lower. And then if we go actually put this at a weekly chart. On a weekly chart, this looks like it's not even poised for anything. Like, it honestly looks like on a weekly chart right now that it could come down to like the 700 level, 775, and just trade sideways. Tesla is a stock that it potentially could just trade sideways for a quite substantial amount of time and basically trade in between the 900 and 600 range and just constantly bounce around. But you see here on the RSI on the weekly chart, it is actually coming off as well. It's been really overbought. Again, Tesla is a very strange case, and it's very hard to track, but I have a feeling that this RSI is starting to point down. Momentum is going to switch. On this chart here, you can kind of see here that the down arrow is already coming off the very tippy top, and I feel like that might represent the overall downtick to the initial price target that we discussed about. Let me show you the standard deviation here. So standard deviation, again, is the green is 1, purple's 2, red is 3. Again, it has been broken out way above the 3 deviation for a really long time, and usually if that happens, again, this is a really strange case, it's never out in this no man's land for that long. It needs to come back. So again, like the 765, 775 is a very attractive place for Tesla to kind of come back, slow down, catch up its breath, and ready for another push higher, potentially with the coming of Battery Day with Elon Musk and showing off the new battery technology and the wizardry they're doing over there at the battery department. Because that's the biggest thing, is that the cars are fantastic, but the reason is a lot of people are buying them is due to the electronic batteries, and that's going to be the largest component that they're going to need to manufacture and have a huge supply of moving forward. So that being said, key takeaways, if this gaps down with huge red candles, like again, we haven't seen huge red candles in some time, just when it hit all-time highs, but people just sold off. But guess what? We filled that gap. So this gap is basically filled. This gap, I'm going to say not completely filled, because this needs to kind of close below it. And then these two gaps down here is, honestly, I have the gap around 600 to 650. I know that's a very large range, but with Tesla, that thing is just moves left and right. I'm actually going to create another alert here. I know this is going to make up the chart look terrible and kind of dirty it up, but I just want to be fully ready, because this thing can come down really fast. Just touch it here for like 5 minutes and I'm not looking at the chart, but I still want to get that notification that it did touch that, so I could re-enter the alert or see if I'll probably put my initial target in around between these two lines, if it ever gets to that point. We don't know, right? We don't know, right? Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, comments, anything down below, please let me know. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and you guys have a great day. Peace.